Hi there, today I want to show you how to install deviceTrust onto a terminal server and connect up a desktop in its simplest formats and go through some of the features of deviceTrust. So we have a terminal server here, which is a domain controller as well, and we have a Windows 7 machine that we can use to connect. Now currently deviceTrust is not installed on either of these, so let's have a quick before scenario. We're going to connect up using user 1 to the terminal server. And as we connect in here, we can see we've got a standard desktop, and if we do a command prompt and do a set on this, we can see we have standard environment variables set up here, and also if we come in and do a registry, and we take a look at the user section, so HKey current users, and I know this is my user here. If we take a look in the software side of it, we have nothing under deviceTrust here. That wouldn't normally be there, but it's because I've done my demo before. So what we'll do is we'll just close that down and we'll come out, sign out. Okay, so we're going to install deviceTrust onto the terminal server itself, and to do that you can get the software of Sabicon. Visit us at www.sabicon.com and we can supply you with evaluation or obviously purchase the software. And we'll come in and we're using version 16.3. It's just been released in September of 2016, and what we're going to do is install the deviceTrust host software for x64. Now if you're installing it onto a Citrix server, it's recommended you install both of them, because if you're not 100% sure which version of ICA the client is using. So we're going to install this. It's a nice simple install. Accept and install. And there we go. Now I'm getting a warning about rebooting my server, but I've already deinstalled and rebooted, reinstalled. I know that I don't need to do this, so we'll just cancel that out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to configure deviceTrust, because we need to put a license key, etc. into it. So this is all done now in 16.3 through group policies. Now, because I'm using a simple setup with domain policies and a domain controller, I'm just going to put it directly into the default domain controller policy. But like any other GPO that you've seen before, you can put the deviceTrust settings in any OU computers, users, and configure it multiple times for multiple different systems, how you want to do this. And the deviceTrust software needs to be configured on every single terminal server or multi-user server, such as Citrix or VDI, that you're actually configuring up. So what we do is we just come in and we'll do a quick edit in here, and you'll see that the deviceTrust ADMs are automatically installed as part of the installation process, and you can see them here underneath administration tools, templates, and deviceTrust. And we're going to enable deviceTrust. So those that are used to GPO are quite familiar with this, and we're going to put the license key in, and we need to grab the license key, which I have a copy of it here. This license key is an extremely long license key, so there's absolutely no point in trying to copy all of this, because it's only about a quarter of it that's showing here. And we'll just put that in and we'll apply it. Okay, and there we have our license key put in. And because this is a GPO, we're going to need to do a GPO update on this machine to make it apply. So we're just doing a GPO update /force and wait for that to come through, and we're now completely updated that. Let's come back to our Windows 7 machine and let's do a log on. And we'll connect up, same user. And we're connecting up now. And straight away we've got a nice new message. Basically it's just saying you do not have the deviceTrust client software installed on your endpoint device, and therefore I'm not going to let you in. So let's go ahead and fix that, because this is all totally configurable using deviceTrust. So what we're going to come back is back to our domain controller, and we're going to come in and we're going to edit our policy. Here's our policies, here's our deviceTrust, and what I'm going to do is we're going to expand it out a little bit and look at the desktop access side of it. And here we have it, define the behavior when connecting from an untrusted device. An untrusted device is a device that doesn't have the deviceTrust client software on it. So let's just, we're going to enable this, and we're going to set it to whitelist. We're going to whitelist all the users that we deem to be safe to come in without a deviceTrust software. Now obviously it's not the most secure way, but we're just doing this to show you the mechanisms, and we could do it blacklisted, so you could let everybody in apart from certain groups of people who you know you definitely want to have the software. We're going to use a whitelist. Let's apply that. And now we need to define a list of users. So we're going to come in here and we're going to enable the users that are whitelisted or blacklisted. And we're just going to quite simply use domain users. Click OK, and we'll apply that. And there's our two settings. And again, we just need to make sure that we do a GPO update on this. I'm waiting for that to go through, and that's gone through nicely. And if we just do an F5, and we can see that we've got deviceTrust desktop access all set here. So let's try our test again now. Let's connect up. So we're connecting them now. And now we're in. So let's do the same thing again. Let's do a command prompt. And let's do a set command. And straight away now we can see we've got some host information that's come through. So this is the actual terminal server information. But we haven't got anything from the device come across yet. And the reason we haven't got anything from the device come across yet is because we haven't actually installed the deviceTrust client to push that information across. So let's do that next. So we're going to sign out, and we're going to install onto the desktop machine, the connecting device, the client software. So we're going to come in. I've got a copy of that already. Now there's two variants of the install. One is a user-based install, which will install it for that particular user, and that's an executable. And the other one is a MSI, which you install as an administrator, and it's for all users onto that machine. And again, there's a 32 and 64-bit version. I'm just going to use the user version to save me logging out, logging in as administrator. They act exactly the same. So I'm just going to do an install of this. Agree, install, and that's it. It is that simple. So let's connect up again and see what we get. So now we'll connect up. Okay, and let's do the same thing again. So let's do a command prompt. Let's have a quick look. Set. And we can see now the list is much longer. So we can see this is all the endpoint device information. So currently it thinks our firewall, the environment variable, is good. If we come down, it thinks that we've got network password policies that are set, network information description, hardware. So if we have a look here, yes, we are hardware virtualization, VMware. Display count, we're only using one display, Action Center. Antivirus, we've got an antivirus switched on. And of course, we've also have all of the host information. And again, let's have a look at the registry. So we'll take a look in the registry now. So this is our user, and here's our deviceTrust. And all of that information is also replicated in the registry. So however you want to access this from the terminal server, you can. So let's force a live update and see what happens. So the one we're going to concentrate on here is going to be our firewall. So we can see here, Device Action Center firewall is good. What we'll do is we're just going to turn off our firewall and hit OK on that. So our firewall is now switched off. Refresh, and we can see it's been set to poor. Now we need to run a new command prompt because it's all within scope of individual command prompts. So again, let's hit the command prompt and let's do a set. And let's go and have a look for our firewall, and you can see the firewall is poor. And again, if we switch the firewall on and do an F5, we can see that our firewall settings are now good, and every single property that you can change on your endpoint is pretty much listed all here for you, so you can use them from the terminal server. So how would you use that? Well, I'll give you a very quick example. We could, for example, come onto the terminal server. So let's run regedit here. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick regedit. We'll take a look. Take a look at this user. Here's this user that we was looking at before, deviceTrust properties. Okay, so we'll keep this, and let's go and take a quick look at Absence, for example. So we're going to use Absence Environment Manager. Now you can use any application, anything that you want on there, and what we're going to do is in Desktop Created, create a node in here. And for example, if I wanted to put a condition to check for the firewall, quite simple. I'd use Absence and I'd say if a registry value exists, then I know it's the current user and the key that I am interested in. So let's take the firewall here, is that. So this is going to be soft, how could be spelled, software slash device slash deviceTrust slash. So that's the key that I'm interested. deviceTrust software. Take that out. The key that I'm interested in is that. I know it's an SSH word, and I poor. So that's as simple as it can be. And obviously you can do this in script. You could do this in res. You could do this through PowerShell. It's up to you how you access that. But ultimately, these values are live changing, and you can pick and choose how you want to do that. So we won't save that config out. So what else can we change in here? Well, let's go and have an edit and have a nosy. So we take a look in the deviceTrust information. We can go and have a look. What can we change? So we can set up users to be controlled by deviceTrust if we want. So you could say that I only want this to apply to the finance people. Of course, don't forget the desktop access will then come underneath that as another layer of security. You can define how you persist this information to the user's registry, to the session information, or to their environment. You can delete it or keep it there. Desktop access, we now have different messages that you can display during a log on or log off, disconnect. We also have triggers as well. So these triggers here are when you can get them to launch certain pieces of code. So for example, when the property is changed, you could say, I want you to run this particular PowerShell script, desktop PS1, every time a property changes on the endpoint client. So hopefully there I've just shown you how very simple it is to install deviceTrust on terminal services, to connect your clients up, how easy it is to configure it through group policies, how you can do it in multiple different groups, multiple different ways, target individual users, and how you can then take that to look at the environment variables and the registry settings that deviceTrust is populating for you on your terminal server. So if you want any further information, please give me a shout at sabicam.com, and we can organise evaluations and anything else that you require for deviceTrust. Thank you very much.